What is going on, everybody? It is PJNasty Gaming coming at you with another video, and we are doing a story time this time, and it's the time I hung out with an NBA player for a whole week. We're gonna get into that in a second, but first I just want to let you guys know I'm gonna be starting a franchise series, either in MLB The Show or Madden. I am leaning a little bit more towards MLB The Show just because NFL Madden will come out in August, and the MLB's not even midway through their season yet, so it's going to be forever before that comes out. So I think MLB franchise would be fun, but you guys let me know down below in the comments, and also let me know what team you want me to use in that game. You know, if we're doing MLB, we could do a team with a lot of pitching and no hitting, or a team with hitting and no pitching. You guys let me know, though, and whichever team gets the most votes, I will use. So now we're going to get into the story time, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright, so it all started at Madison Square Garden for the Providence Friars versus St. John's, the final game of the season. Providence has this guard who at the time was supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft, and he ended up being a top 5 pick in the draft, by the name of Chris Dunn. And I'm like the biggest Chris Dunn fan out there. Like, if you ask me any question about Chris Dunn, I will know the answer to it. I know everything about him, and I'm just the biggest Chris Dunn fan ever. So we're going to the game, me and my entire family, and I'm a big autograph collector, so I was going to get some autographs, trying to get some autographs, like I do before like every basketball game I go to, or baseball, or every game I'm going to, I'm trying to get autographs. So I'm trying to get the autographs, and all of a sudden I see Chris Dunn's dad, and I recognize him from some like the documentaries, not documentaries, like E60s and stuff about him, and like how his dad kind of like brought him back to New London with him. Anyway, so I went up to Chris Dunn's dad, and I was like, I'm a huge fan of your son, blah, 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 blah. So he's like, come see me after the game, and you could meet Chris. So I was like, alright, awesome. So I sit down to go watch the game with my family, and we're watching it, and Providence ends up winning, and Chris has a great game. So at the end, I race over with my brother, and we go to Chris Dunn's dad, and I'm like, hey, we're the kids from earlier. He's like, oh, yeah. Alright, yeah, just wait with us. Your family can wait too, and we're gonna wait for Chris to come out here. So I'm like, alright, awesome. Like, I got so excited because like I was like, I'm gonna meet Chris Dunn. I'm hanging with his family here. It's gonna be awesome. So the security guards tell us that we all have to go outside, and Providence is gonna come out outside by the team bus. So we all, you know, go down the elevator, and we go outside, and now we're waiting, and it's taking a little bit, but now a bunch of fans are coming, and like I didn't even know that there were this many Providence fans at the place that day, but there must have been like 70, no, not 70, like 50 Providence fans, let's say, waiting outside to try and just meet the team. So now I'm with Chris Dunn's family here, and we're all talking for a little bit and talking about where we think he'll get drafted and stuff like that. And he comes out, and Chris Dunn's dad like goes to Chris and says, this kid wants your shoes, give him your shoes. And Chris goes, Dad, I need these shoes, I can't give him these shoes, but you know, I'll sign everything you want. So he's signing me some autographs, we're all talking. They end up going back on the team bus, Chris and the whole team, and his dad's like, alright, I'll see you guys later. I was like, I kept thanking him. He's like, you guys gonna be at the Big East tournament next week, because the Big East, the conference that Providence is in, holds a tournament every year, and the champion of that tournament gets an automatic invite into March Madness. So, and me and my dad go to that every year. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there. How about you guys? He's like, yeah, obviously we'll be there. Hopefully we can see you guys there. So I'm like, all right, awesome. So the week passed, and we get up to I left that apart. The week passed, and you know, I kind of talked to Chris Dunn's parents on Twitter a little. Like, I was texting them saying like, thank you for today. You know, they responded back. It was really cool. So anyway, now it's the next week, and it's now Providence versus Butler for the Big East tournament. And well, Providence versus Butler's the next day. My dad calls up the athletic director, because my dad went to Providence, so he knows all that stuff. And the athletic director's like, you guys want tickets? And my dad's like, yeah. So he goes, all right, I'll hook you up with these tickets right here. They're really good seats. I think you guys will enjoy. So my dad was expecting to like be in the 100 section, like, because he said like really good tickets. It's not only in the 100 section, it's second row off of the court. So my dad's like, oh my god, he hooked it up, like this is amazing, so grateful for it. So we go and we sit down, and who's sitting right next to us? Chris Dunn's parents. So I'm like, what's up guys? Like, we're all talking for a little bit, and it's just awesome to talk to him again. So I was there for, we got to see the 12 o'clock game. It was Villanova versus Georgetown, and then we got to see Providence versus Butler. Chris's parents came for the Providence versus Butler game. So I'm starting to talk to them. They're like, yeah, after the game, we're going to go back to the family room where all the families of the team go. You could come with us, and we'll talk to, you guys can talk to Chris for a little bit. You guys can chat up with us, talk to Chris, it'll be fun. So we're like, alright, that's awesome. So the game passed, Providence wins, and once again, Chris is a great game. We go back to the family room, and there's Chris, and he comes, he's like, what's up everybody? And the big joke was, if Chris got drafted by the Sixers, he was going to be staying with us. And so we were all like, so Chris's dad goes, yo Chris, it's your two roommates. And he's like, oh, are these the kids? And he came up to us, he high-fived us. He was like, we were talking to him for a while, it was awesome. And we talked to him for like a good 10 to 15 minutes. He signed autographs, we took pictures, we talked to his family, we were all joking around. It was a great time. So now the next day is the semifinals of the Big East tournament, and it's Providence versus Villanova. And Villanova, as you guys know now, won the NCAA championship for actual basketball, and you know they're the best team in the Big East, and we knew it was gonna be a tough game. So we're like, all right, we're gonna be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys. They're like, yeah, we'll see you guys. It's gonna be fun. So we go home. Actually, we stopped at Buffalo Wild Wings. We were just talking about how awesome it was. We were like, wow, this is amazing. Can't believe that, you know, how awesome this day was. Providence won. We got to talk to Chris again. It was just awesome. So now my dad says, I'm gonna email the athletic director again, see if he could give us some tickets again. So like, all right, awesome. So we're waiting for a response, and I think it was like 10:30 that night. All of a sudden, we got a response. Hey, Dennis, I'll hook you up with these tickets again. I'm gonna give you the same seats. We're like, we don't need like the court side if you guys don't want to give us those. Like, we'll fine with anything. He's like, now I'll hook it up. You guys got the court side. So for the very next game, Providence versus Villanova, we're sitting second row behind the basket. Providence versus Villanova, we got to see the NCAA champions, second row behind the basket. I mean, it was such an awesome experience. So then, once again, who did we run into? Chris Dunn's parents. So I'm like, we're talking again. We're like, imagine if we could win this game, how amazing it'd be for Providence. You know, I'm just hoping that we could win it and then keep moving on from here and win the Big East championship and all that. So we're all talking. It turns out they were sitting on the other side of the court this time. So we know it would be like, you know, we can't talk to him during the game, but we could still you know, go see him after and stuff like that. So the game's going on, and Providence is losing by like 5, and then Chris makes like a couple of big plays to get us back into it, but then our other best player, Ben Bentel, he fouls out, and now it's Chris, and he just needs, you know, they lost their other best player. It's Chris and Ben Bentel. That's the two best players. They lost Ben, so now it's just Chris trying to work by himself, and he's just, you know, he's struggling out there. The whole team was struggling that night. It ends up, I think we lost by like 10 or 11, and we're out. But we know that we're probably going to make March Madness, so we're happy. You know, we're not upset. It was a great experience. So at the end now, we're talking to Chris. No, at the end, me and my brother, we're waiting for the next game to start, and I'm like, Dad, I'm going to go walk across the stadium and go see if I can talk to Chris, just because, you know, we might not be able to, like, talk to him again for a while. You know, I want to say goodbye. So we go over there, and I'm like, oh, tough game, and, you know, his dad's like, yeah, it's tough, but what are you going to do? They're a good team, you know. Can't do anything about that. I'm like, yeah, it was a good game. Anyway, so now we're waiting at the seats. I was like, are you guys leaving? He's like, well, we're going to go back to the family room. You guys want to come? And he hands us these 2 wristbands. And they're these wristbands to go backstage to the family room. And I'm like, of course. He's like, all right, yeah, we'll go. We'll talk to Chris for a little bit, and then we're going to go back to Rhode Island tonight. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go talk. So we're out there. We're talking for a little bit. And, you know, wishing Chris good game. And they just lost. Remember this. And he's still like, yeah, he's still talking to all of us. He's still like high-fiving all of us. He was in good spirits still. So I mean, it just shows you like how awesome it was that he was still that happy and would still talk to us even after a loss like that. But that's my story of hanging with an NBA player for an entire week. It was such an awesome experience. He ended up getting picked 5th by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it was an awesome experience. Please remember to comment what team you want me to use, and see you guys later.